I brought in my Xbox today, and it's the only functioning Xbox I have out of the three that I own. Now, why is that? Well, first off, I brought this one in. It's my personal home use Xbox, and it's the only one that actually functions, mainly because I got to it before that clock capacitor started doing damage to the board. But the clock capacitor wasn't even the issue on the other two Xboxes I own, and I think I know why, and this is kind of an issue with Xboxes. Now, before I go any further with this, I'll let you know that I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that could help me to fix these Xboxes up. In fact, I know there are to a point. But there's one big issue with the Xbox that I really don't like, and as far as I know, this is true. Xboxes had CD drives or DVD-ROM drives and hard drives that were bound to each individual console. Now, I'm sure there's ways to remove that and fix all that up. In fact, people have offered for years to help me work on these Xboxes, and I'm pretty close to taking them up on it. I'm not sure why they decided to do that, because if you look inside, the drives themselves are just commodity off-the-shelf products. But they decided for some reason to make some kind of weird lock in which it's only bound to the certain Xbox. I'm sure it's something to do with anti-piracy, but it's kind of frustrating years later because I can't just buy a DVD-ROM off the shelf. I can't buy a hard drive off the shelf and just stick it in there and reformat it. It has to be Microsoft approved. As far as I know, in the research I did, trying to figure out a way to keep these things pretty close to original, but also keep them running. This one here has been modded with the Xbox MC or something like that. It's been worked on a few times, and every time it'll start working again for a little bit, and then after about maybe a week or two of use, it'll go back down to just not really doing anything, not reading discs, not booting, not running anything. The board is great, the graphics stuff is in good shape, but I can't really get it working by myself without having a lot of software help, and that is something I don't know anything about. I'm sure I'll get these things working pretty soon. In fact, we just hired a teacher here who knows how to mod these things, but still, it's frustrating that the Xbox has that gatekeeping measure where you can't just swap the parts out pretty quick. It's going to make these things obsolete quicker than it should.